Hi and welcome. If you're new here, I actually now regularly make videos about properties in Sweden, and every video has a little bit different angle, but these videos are more for fun and entertainment. But of course, if you have any questions about properties in Sweden, buying them, or anything even about renting, then leave your questions down in the comments below. I would do my best to answer these questions, but also there's an amazing community here on my channel, so there's a lot of people who will also help you out. I really love this about my channel, and I want to say thank you to all the people who are regularly helping out. So I moved to Sweden 3.5 years ago, and I actually live now just outside of Stockholm, so maybe about 45 minutes via public transport, but only 20 minutes via car into the city of Stockholm. And we bought a townhouse here in Haninge. So in today's video, I want to go through properties, houses and apartments in the 3 biggest cities here in Sweden. That is Stockholm. And I'm very surprised. I looked up actually the inhabitants, and I really thought there were about 1.5 million people here. But no, it's not even a million. So it's actually quite a small city, I would say. But I also want to look at Gothenburg, which has around 600,000 inhabitants, and Malmö, which is almost half, with 360,000 inhabitants. So I would say like the biggest 3 cities are actually quite small compared to other countries, which makes sense. There are only 10 million inhabitants here in Sweden. So let's look at these 3 cities, and I'm using a website called Hemnet. And there are a few other options out there, but I would say this is the biggest one. And because this is more about entertainment as well, you know, rather than just purely information, I stick with Hemnet because I actually quite like looking at properties on Hemnet. And I also wanted to say that there is a system here in Sweden. When you buy a house or an apartment, there's normally a bidding process. So when I show you actually the prices which are on the Hemnet website, these are the starting prices, and normally a bidding happens. But I have to say, in the last probably year or so, it's not as crazy as it used to be because of the property market, because of the housing market here in Sweden and also in other countries, of course. But the bidding is normally can be sometimes really crazy, and the price goes really like from, I don't know, 5 million Swedish krona to 6 million Swedish krona, which is obviously 1 million krona more, which I think is $100,000. So that's such a difference. But I observe a little bit the property market, and the housing prices have not changed too much from the initial starting price. So when you buy a house these days, you normally are closer to the starting price. That also has to do obviously with the interest rates you pay at the moment. Here in Sweden, it went up, which went up in many countries. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out because I keep forgetting to mention that the normal process here in Sweden is a bidding process. So without further ado, make sure to like this video and also subscribe to my channel. And if you haven't already, also sign up to my newsletter. You find a link in the description below. Let's get started. So here we are at our first property, and I'm showing a mix of like prices, like cheaper ones, but also, well, I wouldn't say cheap ones, but like cheaper ones, and then middle ones, and maybe some other interesting things to look at. So I'm switching to English so people, you know, all over the world can have a look. So this one is actually in Tyresö, in just outside of Stockholm, because I did look for houses within Stockholm, but there was not much actually available. So you can see here is Stockholm, this is Stockholm area, and then outside of Stockholm you have the suburbs like Tyresö, which, for example, this house is here. So it's not that far off. You still have to take public transport in, which probably takes about half an hour, or you can go by car, which is probably just 15 minutes. So it is quite close to Stockholm. But yeah, when it comes to houses, it's easier to find them outside of Stockholm. But yeah, details. So this is 12,695,000. I will show you the dollar and probably the euro here, but I assume it's around 1 million $200,000. But you can also see it's villa and ownership, 8 rooms. And here you can see operating costs, a house from 1966. So let's have a look. It's definitely a little bit more on the pricey side, but you get a little jacuzzi, and 8 rooms is actually a lot. I don't even know if you need 8 rooms, but it's like 1-story home, so you don't have any stairs. And you can just walk around it basically with kind of a garden bit or a terrace bit in the middle where there's a jacuzzi. I think it's a jacuzzi, or is it even a pool? I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, you can see it's a very nice house. It probably doesn't, I mean, it definitely doesn't really need any changes apart from, you know, design changes, different wallpapers. Oh no, here's a jacuzzi, so the other one must be a pool then. So yeah, you have a pool and a jacuzzi with this house. 8 rooms, it seems very big. That's a very big bathroom as well. And I'm trying to stop always like on each image, but feel free to stop the video and look at one image or so, because I know these videos are quite long. But I also know people enjoy them, which is great, but I don't want to make them too long. So just feel free to stop at any photo you want to have a look a little bit more. And here is the layout. You can see here's the terrace bit. Oh, they actually have the middle bit, but also a garden or like a terrace on both sides of the house, where one had a jacuzzi, I think, and here's the, well, what do they call it? Swim spa. Okay, you can see the layout. So not bad. Let's have a look at the next house in Sweden. And this one is located in Huddinge. And it's a 5 million, almost 5 million, which is more like, yeah, $500,000, maybe a little bit more. $500,000 ownership, villa, 3 rooms, so that is much smaller, from 1939. Operating costs, and let's have a look where it is located before we look at the nice images. So Huddinge is also kind of like a suburban district here outside of Stockholm, but very close. I think somewhere here is the line to Stockholm, so it's kind of like very close, could be almost part of Stockholm. So let's have a look at the pictures. So here you can see the house. So it's quite a bit of property. Bathroom. I try to slow down again. The kitchen looks okay to me. Not the prettiest, but this is very nice. I love that it's very authentic, you know, something kept from when the house was built. A little stove in the kitchen, so you can actually also cook there, I believe, and it also heats the kitchen. Although you can see here's also a little air conditioning, which you can also use as a heater, I believe. But yeah, there's some nice details here. And the furniture is obviously, it's not my cup of tea, but you will not get the furniture. I mean, this fan kind of thing is also, looks actually quite American. And upstairs you have quite a bit of space. And it's just one room, and then there's another bedroom. So maybe you can even separate that bigger room into and make another bedroom or something if you need it. Terrace, but it's very red Swedish house. I mean, it looks a bit messy down here, but that's probably the previous owner, so you don't have to keep that. And a little garage on the side, and here you can see the plan of the house. This is downstairs. Upstairs you can see there's such a big room, and you know, you can probably like have another proper bedroom up here. And here's the location, which you can see right next to a lot of green as well, which I personally love. So yeah, that is another Stockholm house, but let's look at apartments. We have not looked at apartments in any of my videos, so that's kind of the first time. And this one is in Stockholm, central Stockholm. You can see Södermalm here. It is also not that cheap. It's about 6,800 Swedish krona, which is probably around 680,000, 700,000. And it's an apartment. You only get right of residence. So any apartment you have, you buy the right of residence because it's an apartment building. It has 4 rooms. And I think what you here need to look out for always is kind of a charge, a monthly charge. Here it's 4,119 Swedish krona, which is around, $410 or something, which you have to pay like every month. So on top of what you pay for, your mortgage and interest rate, you have to pay this as well. So you need to look out for that. I find that very unattractive, obviously, but it totally makes sense. So there's basically, I don't know how you call that now. So like not a community association, which takes care of the building, if there need to be any repairs or just outside the buildings, keeping it clean. So there's a few utilities included, plus any repairing. So they're collecting the money and then they will allocate the money. But you can see it's super central. So this is Stockholm here, and this is Södermalm, one of, I would say like a very popular kind of district. So it is very central. You buy something for that in a very central location. And it's very nicely designed, I have to say, but obviously you will only get the flat, not the furniture. Or the curtains, but it has 3 rooms. I think I read here's the kitchen and living room together, which I quite like actually, when it makes it very social. Lots of photos of the kind of same angle, and then here's a bedroom. Here's a kid's room, basically another bedroom, a bit smaller, and another bedroom. So maybe it was 4 rooms actually. And here is the bathroom, quite simple. I know many people would say it's maybe too wide, but you can do whatever you want with your apartment when you buy it. And here's the layout. Yeah, so 3 bedrooms, and then we have here the living room. And this is a little bit outside with like, so for example, you probably would pay for the maintenance of like the garden here, and there's a little playground, and this is the surroundings. So yeah, 4 rooms actually, 4 rooms. So not too bad. And then here we have another apartment, which is in Gamla Stan. So if you know anything about Stockholm, you will know it's like the old town, and again, it's very, very central, very central. You can't have it any more central, basically. It's the old town, and a lot of tourists are there, I have to say. But it's quite a cool location for 4,250,000 SEK, Swedish krona, which is about 430,000, 2 rooms only, but of course, right of residence only. But, when I found this, I was like, amazing. It's not that expensive. I mean, it's not that big either, but it's kind of affordable. But then I looked at the charge, and the charge is pretty expensive. 12,324 Swedish krona per month, which is, about $1,200, $1,300, which that's almost like another rent, for example. So maybe this is not as attractive as I thought it would be, but let's have a look at the pictures. It does look quite nice. First impression, you have quite a big of kitchen with a dining area, so definitely looks quite nice. And then you have the living room here next to the kitchen, bathroom, quite big as well. This is the house. You can see it's a very old house. You can see the details, and you can see here the layout. I mean, if I was not with kids and maybe just with my partner, like something like that would be quite cool, actually, living in the center of Stockholm. But obviously you have to calculate how much you actually pay per month, like how much you pay for your mortgage. I can imagine with the interest rates at the moment, because it might be quite similar to ours, they probably would pay almost 30,000 Swedish krona, which is almost $3,000 a month. So yeah, you really have to think about it. What else do we have? Östermalm. I heard that this is like more the upper end, area where you live. So it's quite expensive, and you can see that. And I'm sorry that I show you this. It's so expensive. 49 million SEK, which is for almost $5 million. So obviously it's super, super expensive. But I also wanted to show you what's possible, What can you actually buy with money here in Stockholm? But also the charge is not that much. So it's interesting to know why in Gamla Stan it was so expensive, but maybe because it's a historic district and you have to pay more. But I just wanted to show you where this is located here in Stockholm. Again, also very, very central and by the water. I mean, it's an amazing location, really. And I think you also pay a lot for the location. But also, for the apartment. Let's have a look. That looks already grand, doesn't it? And here we go. I mean, also design-wise, quite nice. You even have a little patio, so a little bit of a terrace space. Yeah, it looks very big. Here's the hall, which is really nice. The bathroom. This is also, this is the entrance, which looks amazing, and you can see here, that's the entrance. This is like, it already looks expensive, so no wonder that you pay a lot. The lift, the garage, okay, and here you have the layout. It looks also very, very big. Oh yeah, here's the entrance. Yeah, you have a lot. But you also pay a lot. So let's go to Gothenburg, Göteborg, I think in Swedish. So let's start with houses. And I'm not so familiar with Gothenburg and area, so I just want to show you a little bit on the map where it is located. And I'm sure some people who watch this video are from Göteborg, and they can say if that's a very central location, but I do believe it is. It looks very central. If that's basically central, I can imagine that's very, very central. And it's a villa. You have the land right, okay, 5 rooms. So yeah, this is a house, 10 million, which is about a million and 100,000. I love the first picture, that's why I chose it. But I thought it looks quite cool. It's a bit of different style, a little bit of like 60s, maybe. Huge kind of windows, actually, looking outside. Lots of greenery around it. So I thought it was quite a cool house in Göteborg. Probably very close to central. Might not be central because again, houses are not so much central. There's more apartments. But yeah, this house looks pretty cool. Kitchen is not my style, but I can still live there because it's just a design, it's not old or anything. So I think it's quite cool. I can definitely live there. And the details here by the stairs, very cool. I mean, you do get something for the money. Maybe I should compare like some properties for $1 million or so in the US, what you get there and what you get here in Sweden. If you want to see that, let me know in the comments down below, and I can do that. But yeah, it looks pretty cool. A bit darker rooms. I love the bathroom like that. I would love to have a bathroom like that. We still want to renovate our bathroom at some point, so I always need inspiration. And this is also cool. They basically have like 2 children rooms, and they look quite similar but different colors. Very cool. I mean, that green normally doesn't work for me at all, but it looks pretty cool here. Pink as well. Pretty intense, but kind of cool. So let me know what you think about this house. Would you buy it? Would you want to live in Gothenburg? Here you can see the house. Looks pretty cool. I love that you always have like nature just outside, and you just build around nature basically. And here you can see a little bit the planning. There you go. First house in Gothenburg. Let's have a look at another house. And I believe I chose a little bit cheaper one. 5,800,000 Swedish krona, which is about 600,000 probably. 5 rooms. Not too bad. Operating costs quite low actually, 15,000 a year. Let's have a look where it is located. It's a bit further away. I assume here's central Gothenburg, so it's a bit further away, but I don't think it's not, you know, it doesn't take you much time to get into central Gothenburg. Let's have a little look what this house looks like. So this is more white again, white kitchen or gray kitchen. Definitely if you already have a really nice, you know, designed house, like you can ask for more. If it was an old house and needs a lot of repairing, obviously you will not be able to ask for so much more. But it also has a little oven here, which is great. Hallway. Oh no, this is wardrobe. Small room, bathroom. You go upstairs, more rooms. I mean, it looks pretty nice. Pretty nice to me. I can also live there. Oh, that's also really nice. Then you maybe would love to wash your laundry. Why not balcony and the plan of the house, if you're interested in that as well. Very cool. Oh yeah. I remember it was like again, you build really houses around nature. So it's actually a steep hill down. And you can see here in the background, there's also, it's close to water. I mean, almost everything is close to water. You know, I mean, I'm not talking about walking distance, but that probably takes you, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes in the car or something. I don't know if I would move here with kids, because that looks very dangerous, or at least young kids. But it's kind of cool because you have a nice view, basically. So yeah, that's why I chose this property. And let's have a look at apartments. So this one is 2 rooms. I would say the price is almost the same as Stockholm. I do believe that this is also very central. Yeah. So you can see very central in Gothenburg. 4 million, probably like 400 to 420,000 maybe dollars or something like that. Year of construction is a very old house, actually, 1899. And you pay 2,966 Swedish krona per month, which is more like $300 compared to the 1,300, which is a very exception in the one in Stockholm and Gamla Stan. But so far so good. It is definitely really renovated. So for such an old house, you would not think this is, you know, located in such an old house. But I find the layout quite cool. Because here's the entrance, and you come in the kitchen and also dining. You have a dining area. You have this rondel basically where you probably go up the stairs and then you get into your flat. That's pretty cool. You can also see some details at the ceiling, which is really nice. And then you have a little desk corner. That's pretty cool. Again, this apartment would be more for like, well, a single person or a couple. It ultimately just has one bedroom anyways. Bathroom also looks nice, so it's totally renovated. Oh, and the view and the little balcony, that's quite nice. You can see your neighbors, can say hello. And yeah, you can see the layout here. You come up the stairs and then you go into your little apartment. And that's Gothenburg. I've never been. After I looked at properties, I'm like, I really want to go. I want to explore Gothenburg. It looks beautiful. Really, really cool. So what do you think about this apartment? I have another one, which is actually only one room. So I wanted to look at one room, maybe for a single person. I wouldn't say that's super cheap. It's like 370,000, maybe a little bit more. Plus you have to pay a charge, as always in like apartment buildings. But I think this one is also very central. So I looked at very central because I wanted to know how expensive is it to really live in a central city like that. And I guess it does make sense to compare it maybe to other cities in the world to see if that's expensive or not. So it does look pretty cool. So you have the living room and the kitchen kind of in one room. You have enough space, really, I would say. Oh, and you have a terrace. I think this is probably a shared terrace with the other people who live in the building. But that's really cool that you can access that hallway. Living room again, with more details. Kitchen with more details. Definitely looks also quite. And this is actually the bedroom. So when I looked at it, it says one room, but it really looks like the bedroom is actually in a different room. So maybe it's a mistake, but I would say it's more like a 2-room apartment rather than one. A little bit of Gothenburg in town, which looks really cool. Oh yeah, here. So yeah, here's the living room and the kitchen, and here's the bedroom basically. So for me, that's more like 2-bedroom apartment. And then let's have a look at something special, because you can also spend a lot of money in Gothenburg, I would say. 5 rooms, 32 million Swedish krona, which is $3,200,000, something around that. Very old building as well, 1898. And then again, you have to be rich for that one. Charge 11,345,000 per month. Again, which is almost, you know, another rent. Well, at least for us. I think, yeah, it's very central again in Gothenburg. And I don't know, I just also love to look at like really extravaganza apartments, because why not? You can dream, nice view. It looks very special. I find it cool that you know, you can have that obviously if you want to in Gothenburg. If you have the cash or the money, you can go all in and buy this gorgeous apartment, which also has a very authentic oven stove. Yeah, I mean, do let me know if you like to look at expensive properties sometimes, or if you prefer to see more cheaper ones, affordable ones, because, you know, the ones you can actually afford. I mean, some of the viewers might be able to afford this, but I'm sure there are not many. I certainly cannot afford this apartment yet. Who knows? One day I might be rich, right? With YouTube. Okay. Wow. That looks amazing. Can I have this bathroom, please? Wow, 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 wow. I mean, if you think like people who live there, should they not be super happy living in such a gorgeous apartment? Here's the layout a little bit as well, which is just huge, huge, huge. Okay, so last city, Malmö. Malmö. And we start with a house for 11,000, so almost, not 11,000, with 12 million Swedish krona, which is also more like 1,200,000, 300. And I thought this looked also really cool. This is a house actually. So let's have a look. Ownership, 11 rooms. I mean, wow, 1860 as well. Like, it's such an old house. Let's have a look where it is located. I believe this is also very central actually. Again, I've never been in Malmö either. I really want to go, but it looks very central to me where the house is located. So let's have a look at the pictures. This looks grand. I mean, the design is not my style, but it looks just amazing. And this is the house, which is a very old house. From this side, it actually doesn't even look that big. Love the door. And then inside, it looks pretty big. Love the window. I mean, I'm very interested to know who actually lives there right now with all the design bits. It's a very unique design. Definitely needs someone who loves that, or of course they can renovate it and, you know, make it their own style, but there's a lot of charm in this house, I would say, and there's probably a lot of things you want to keep it that way, because it would be actually terrible to get rid of all this design. I think it looks really cool, although I'm not sure if I would live there. But if you like this house, let me know in the comments down below. This is a little bit outside part. Interesting bedroom. And the bathroom. Wow. Like, every room is definitely super unique, and you have 11 rooms in this property. A lot of bedrooms and bathrooms. I mean, wow, cool. I would definitely think, like, would I even need so many rooms? But maybe I would come up with an idea what I would do with it. So here you can see a little bit. Here's the house down here. So it's definitely quite central, I would say, because there's a lot of houses around. Here's a little pool, but I don't think it belongs to this house. The green door again. And here's a bit the layout. Wow, that's a crazy layout, crazy house. Would love to know the history of this house, really, don't you? Okay, so this was the first house, a bit more expensive, but I just discovered it and I was like, I need to look at it. And here, again, it's not that cheap either. 7,300,000 in the Swedish krona, which is 730. I mean, you know, still under a million, I would say. Again, it depends where you are in life and what you can afford. It's actually quite a new house from 2018, 5 rooms, and located here in Malmö. Ah, yeah, it's really close by the water. So that's why I thought we need to look at it. It probably looks amazing. You have a jacuzzi. Aha, no, is that the whole house or is it just... Oh, it looks actually, it's just a townhouse basically. So there's another neighbor next door. Oh, yeah. But you have a jacuzzi. It's quite nice. Definitely spacious as well. Super nice kitchen. I mean, the design. I love Scandinavian design, so I'm a fan of it. I know sometimes people say it doesn't have character, it's just kind of grey and white and beige. But I love it. A little bit blue here. Although you obviously don't get the furniture, so you can do whatever with the house. Bathroom. Upstairs. You even have a bedroom there. Kind of an open bedroom without a door. I'm not sure if I would do that with kids, but yeah. I always think about kids, right? So I have 2 small kids. So when I look at houses, I always think, can I live there with my kids? I have to say, it's a townhouse and it looks super nice, but I would actually say it's not very cheap. So maybe because it's a new area with lots of new buildings, that's maybe why it's also a little bit more expensive. And you can see there's also a park behind it and it's close to water, so it's a lot of nice perks living in that area, I guess. And here's a little bit some pictures of the surroundings. So yeah, let's have a look at the next one, which is an apartment for 4 million, which is around 400, maybe $410,000 English, 5 rooms, which is quite big actually. So we haven't seen a big apartment like that in today's video, but you can also see the charge is 9,000 kroner per month, which is almost, or like probably a bit more than $900. So that's quite expensive. The apartment is also very central in Malmö. The building 1991, so a bit of a bigger, and a bit of a newer building. So let's have a look at the photos. Nice big windows to look outside. Bedroom, bathroom. This is how it looks basically. The building. Here's the entrance. You come right into the apartment. Living room, dining area. And you can see the kitchen here in the back. It's definitely quite spacious. It's a bedroom. And here you can see, I mean, you can really see into that flat, although this is maybe the balcony actually, if I'm not mistaken. So there's a bit of a balcony where you can really look into it. Yeah, but it's a balcony, so maybe you can't really see straight into the flat. Right, but that's kind of cool if you like city vibes. Here's the kitchen. Pretty big, I have to say. Lots of space to cook, which is nice. So yeah, what do you think about this apartment in Malmö? Again, the price is not too bad for the size, I guess, and the location. The only thing I would say, which obviously adds to this, is the monthly fee. You have to pay extra $900, 9,000 SEK, 9,000 Swedish krona. It's quite a lot. I always think like you already have to pay interest. And you know, with interest obviously is already like money thrown out of the window, basically, because you don't really pay off the mortgage. You just pay the bank for lending you the money. And then you have a fee like this. This also kind of goes nowhere because you're not paying off anything. So that hurts a little bit, I would say. But yeah, here is the layout of the flat. Pretty nice size. And the last flat here in Malmö, it's 2 million, so it's 200,000, 220,000 US dollars, 2 million Swedish krona. So that is actually quite affordable, I would say. I mean, affordable, I guess. Always depends on where you're coming from. And the first impression looks really nice, I thought. It's quite small, maybe 38 square meters, the building 1907, and you pay a fee of 3,455. That's much more doable, I think, than 9,000, because 9,000 is almost triple the price you pay per month. So far, a very good first impression. And we can also see central Malmö. It's pretty cool. So this could be one of my favorites. Obviously, it says 1.5 rooms. Again, it's quite small. But if you're a single person or a couple, that could be quite a nice flat. And it looks actually quite big on the photos. But so here is the hallway coming into the dining area and living room, and it has a balcony. I really love the windows. Gives the flat a little bit of a charm. And lots of light. Aha, okay. So here you have a bit of a divider, and then you have the bedroom there. That's why they say 1.5 rooms, I guess, because they divided it, not a proper wall, but a glass wall. But the building looks really cool, actually. Bricks. That's really nice. Nice view to the park or cemetery or something. I mean, it looks really nice. Of course, again, it's quite small, but hey, you can absolutely live there. I would love to live there. Like, if I didn't have a family, you know, the bathroom looks also stunning, actually. Quite simple, but really, really nice. And that's the building. It's a beautiful building, I have to say. A really beautiful building. This could be one of my favorites. Oh, and then you have even a communal area, maybe. It looks like it. That's pretty cool. I don't know if Swedes would hang out there, but having that option is already pretty cool. There's a more modern building next to it. And here is a layout of the flat. Yeah, so normally it would basically like a 1-room flat, but they divided a little bit the bigger living room and made it an extra kind of bedroom, so it looks better. I mean, the solution is pretty cool, I have to say. I really like it. Well, thank you so much for watching till the end, and let me know which property in which city you loved the most. And I wish you a good day, and I see you in my next video. Hey, Dora!